Good evening. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP Bangladesh. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP Bangladesh. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us today. Honorable Knowledge Seeker. Today I am your host for the evening. My name is Batan Das and my co-host is Yani Sakta Choudhury. I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. IGP is a social and ISO certified international training institute. In 3 years, we already serve 3 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 250 plus professions and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professional is the training faculty for skill development, which was founded in 2020 and is generating competitive candidate to meet demand in the global labor market by providing professional qualification. The Institute of Global Professional is an education institute that provides social work globally recognized and reputable, serves student and community, research providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one skill just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, and internationally to student, job seeker, job holder, and also for learner to respective campus location and distance learning platform. We are a dependable and occupational institute. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product. It's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminar courses, our quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we also try to serve more than 100 premium service for free, like create own portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and wall knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge, which can upgrade all day. Kids learning game, website, free course, combat sites, and many more. We help empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement several training programs, webinar, and offline online courses for youth and learner by professional trainer, speaker, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kind of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personality. To ensure excellent and in-depth instruction, we arrange with qualified trainer, speaker, and instructor. We extended free services to more than 3 million knowledge seekers in the last 3 years. We have affiliation with universities and organizations in 70 different countries. Virtual mouse signing with many colleges and organizations have been accomplished. We are working to create a legendary generation of future scholars and citizens who will be accountable. We are constantly prepared to assist all knowledge seekers with valuable service. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professionals. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and serve them with good research and practice methods. We must have a genuine concern for the learner we represent. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead the session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective, best quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill level and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,379 webinars successfully. Wow. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,379 webinars successfully. Wow. At present, we are going to start our 1,380 program, which name is ORCID, Benefits of Authors. And today our speaker sir name is Dr. Shobhit Ganguly. He is from India. Before I hand over the stage to our speaker sir, I also share a very little bit about him. Assistant Professor and Development of Electrical and Instrument Engineering, Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP
और
with
एक
his
साथ
presentation.
ज़्यादा मत
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, the stage is yours. You can start your presentation now.
Okay, fine. So, very good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all the participants from whichever part of the world you are attending this particular session of mine. We are going to talk today about ORCID and its benefits to the authors as well as to the publishers. We have mentioned it for authors, but of course, it can be to the publishers as well for getting some funds from the external agencies as well. So we will go about the basic definition of ORCID ID, what it is all about, how you can register your ORCID ID, what are the benefits, what we understand by ORCID ID, and what are the benefits lying with ORCID and all those things. So myself, Dr. Shobhit Ganguly, I'm serving as an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Instrumentation Engineering from Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, Patiala. So I'll be taking you through the next journey for ORCID for the researchers and what is it all about, why it is essential to have an ORCID ID, and how will I obtain the ORCID ID, and how will it help me in my research journey. So over here, let me share with you one of the examples where there are so many authors you may see. Okay, say if I am one of those authors, how will I be able to track my name, and how will I able to, and since there are few names which you may find in my list starting with Wang and Zing and all those common names, common Chinese names, so of course it is very much difficult. Sometimes the initials are also same of the authors, so it is very difficult to identify the authors in this journey of research. So of course, it will be easier for me that if I am so and so, and if I register an ORCID ID by virtue of which I'll be able to identify and track my papers. At the same time, the publishers will be able to understand, as well as when you are submitting any research proposal to any external funding agencies, they will also be able to track your papers online through your ORCID ID as well. So this is the benefit of using the ORCID ID. So of course, some examples are there that over 6 million authors are there who are publishing in some major journals, and they are getting their citations, their databases, their abstracts. So almost two-thirds of the names, they share the last name and the single initial with another author. So of course, there can be some ambiguity with regard to the database and referring to at least average of 8 people. So of course, you may find that you need to identify yourself from a list of so many researchers working around the world with the same surname, with the same initials being used, sometimes the same names collided. So of course, you can be able to track those author names through your ORCID ID. So basically, the vision of this particular organization ORCID is to help someone to participate in research, to promote scholarship, to promote innovation, and also uniquely identify each individual person or each individual researcher, and also they get connected through their contributions and through their affiliations across any time, across any discipline, across any border. So each researcher will be identified by a unique ORCID ID, which is normally a 16-digit ID, which will be there for each individual researcher to exchange the information or to create a database, of course, of his or hers own research credentials. So basically, this ORCID is a non-profitable organization and which provides some fully open and interoperable identifier that connects researchers with their own research contributions. Even if you are changing your affiliations, even if you are changing your affiliations, the ORCID ID can remain same and it can be reflected through the research articles. Through your research articles, you can connect them easily. So basically, it is an open researcher and contributor ID, basically a 16-digit identifier that helps researchers to register and use it for free. This is a lifetime access free, and it is being database is being maintained by Stanford University as well. So this is the basic concept behind ORCID. So it's a non-profitable organization that connects between researchers and their research contributions along with their affiliations as well, university affiliations as well. So basically, it's a 16-digit identifier that is used, and every individual researcher can register for free. And I'll also show you the link at certain point of time and how they can use it for free. So once again, the introduction, it's the open researcher and contributor ID, which is a unique identifier to a researcher that distinguishes researchers from one another and ensures that their work is indicated accurately and correctly. So once again, it's a free service. It is an open service that is widely recognized throughout the world and adopted by any academic institution, adopted by any research organizations, publishers even, because we have to provide the information also to the publishers to make the things transparent to them. Also, you can declare it to your funding agencies, the external funding agencies, and where not, we can put our ORCID ID, by virtue of which all your publications will be getting tracked. So it has got numerous benefits. That's why we thought that we should discuss about the benefits that the ORCID must provide and helping a particular researcher to get their visibility, to get their identity, and also advance their careers through the use of ORCID ID. So summarizing the facts that we have just now discussed, it is an open access part, free of cost, not for profit, and run for by the research community. So we usually provide a unique identifier. Normally, an ORCID ID, it is an open researcher and contributor ID, is normally a unique ID, which is a 16-digit ID, and that clearly connects you with your research as well as your affiliations. So you can use your ID with hundreds of systems, and from starting from your grant application, starting from your manuscript submission to different journals, share any research information to any research information management system and whatnot. So basically, it is an open access tool that will connect you with your research and help you to go well with your affiliations as well. And even if you change your affiliation, that does not hamper any way to your work, to your research identity as well. So basically, it's your research identity that will be getting visible. Now, we will talk about the initial benefits and then we'll elaborate further and then we'll summarize this particular topic as well. So, ORCID ID is basically to connect your individuals and their professional contributions across discipline, across organizations, and also with respect to time. So, basically, connecting you with your research abilities, with your research contributions, with your professional affiliation as well, and also some sort of recognition for all types of contributions, all types of researches, or all types of innovations that you do across or over a period of time. And also it also helps your research institutions, your funders, your publishers, and other organizations to better track and support your research work. So this is another way of getting benefit from a free ORCID ID. Now, how is it working? How does it work? So it is basically a registration that you need to have, and registration should be through your professional email ID with which you normally work with, and it is basically a hub that connects your researchers with their professional activities or professional or research contributions. So basically, it's a global community. There are several universities being involved or associated uh, uh, with ORCID, and to share their data with their individuals, with their organizations, as well as with the systems. I think there are 1281 or 1283 organizations who are closely associated and working with development of ORCID and functioning, smooth functioning. There are several universities like Alto University, as far as I remember, Stanford University in US. They are working closely and they are maintaining the transparency, and they help us to track the record of each and every individual researcher. Now, very simple to register for an ID and use that ID to publish your research work, to publish your data set. You can also mention your patents as well, conference publications, any Scopus publications. You can also feed in so that it will be acting as your curriculum with your resume, basically building up your resume on the research progress. So registering for meetings also you may use of, performing peer review also, because those things are also being reflected through your ORCID ID. If you are applying for any grant, any external funding agencies, then also you may make use of this ORCID ID, because a single 16-digit identifier will help others to know about you and your research contribution. And also making use of the university resources as well, you may make use of the ORCID ID. And also you may add email signatures, you can use web pages, you can add your CV as well. So whichever way you want to make use of, it's a very simple process to register and get yourself. The key action is to register yourself for an ORCID ID, and you simply need to authorize Stanford University, which is used as a trusted organization, to read your information and with visibility. And it is a partnering organization with ORCID that takes care of the activities or the research contributions of the individual researchers along with their affiliations. So this is a single step process. You have to register through your professional email ID or whatever email ID that you may like to work with. And even if you change your affiliation, you may place your qualifications, you may add your patents, you may add your conference papers, you may add your scopus index, book chapters, everything can be added. And of course there are a few journals who are automatic in taking your, once you put your ORCID ID and once those papers are published, they are automatically reflected in your ORCID ID, where you can see the number of publications that you have or that you share in your ORCID ID. Now, why do we need? First of all, we need to ensure that our work is recognized. So, whatever you have, however small you have contributed to your research front, maybe you have contributed 5 research articles, you have contributed 10 research articles, all those will be recognized through linkage with ORCID. So, you can quickly and unambiguously identify your work and, of course, attribute to the quality of the work as well. So it is also equally important to distinguish yourself. Say, for example, let me take you a very small example. There may be uh, 10, 20, 30 different persons with the same name, with the same initials, as well as with the same surnames. But how will I make the distinction? Because the distinction that we make is with respect to our ORCID ID, or the 16-digit ORCID ID will be absolutely different, so that my work remains protected, or my research contribution, my university affiliation remains protected by that. And of course, gaining recognition of your peer reviewing activities, you can get your work recognized. You can simply provide the link where everything about you or everything about your research contribution, your innovation can be. So it can call it a brief CV, or a knowing about you or knowing about your research contribution through the use of ORCID ID as well. Maintaining your key information, sometimes it is very difficult for us to look at, if we have not updated our CVs for almost 3 months to 6 months. Almost it is very difficult for us to at how much we have contributed to a journal article, how much we have contributed to any book chapters, or how many patents have been published, or how many have been granted, or likewise. So it is very important that we keep all the key information at one place through our ORCID ID. So for major funders, for major publishers, for major societies or research organization, it is very important that we maintain our ORCID ID and save our time. And when we are applying for any jobs, or when we are applying for any funding, or when we are having submitting any research to any online platforms, even our editors, associate editors, or the chief editors can also go through the ORCID profile and check about the research contribution of that author in that particular field. So basically increasing your impact or discoverability of your research as well. So maintaining all the key information about you at one place, this is very important. A person may be forgetting, but ORCID will never forget to link you with your paper, or through your patent publications, your book chapters, everything. So it's a mini CV for you. And of course, ORCID is free to use, quick to use, and very easy to register and use as well. So it is not meant for profit. So your data is not going to be tracked or sold. You are to take, or it is the connection between you and your research articles. So you are to own it, you are to control it, you have to maintain your record, you have to link your record through the different publications that you make. And of course, your information is private and it is not shared to all. So of course, it takes hardly few seconds to associate your ORCID ID with your email, professional email ID. So basically, it's how your ORCID will work. I have shown you there is a single or two-step registration process. That first of all, you have to connect it with your registered email ID, or your uh, professional email ID, whichever you are using for your professional career, or your affiliation email ID as well. So of course, we can have your Gmail ID as well, in case the author thinks that he should he or she should prefer to use their Gmail ID instead of a professional ID and connect it with an ORCID 16-digit number. So basically, registering and authorizing will help you to understand your work and connecting with your work, connecting with your research profile as well. So it's a very good practice to use the ORCID profile in order to connect your research, in order to connect your individual research with your corresponding affiliation as well. So, what are the challenges? Why do we require, and why do we require to go in for the unique ID? Most names are not unique. Of course, many people have the same name. There are some surnames which are so common everywhere, in every field, in every country rather. So some names are really common, some initials are really common. So if you find any name with S, like with me, and if I use an initial S, Ganguly, so of course you'll find plenty of researchers using the same initial and the same surname as well. So sometimes your name changes after marriage, some divorce, some gender transition, some religious conversion do take place, but of course your ORCID ID will remain same. So it does not hamper your previous works, will automatically be there. If you are changing your surname, or if you are converting from one religion to another, so not at all a problem for ORCID to recognize unless and until you use the ORCID ID in your research publication. So people also use different versions of their name. Sometimes they use some short forms as well. Instead of writing Shovik, I may use S, I may use SVG. Likewise, so if I use different versions of my name during different stages of my career, of course it does not have any impact to the ORCID once the ID. Individuals can use different versions of their name. They can use different alphabets, different abbreviations as well, or some naming conventions as well. So, and mobile as well. So researchers can change their organization, they can change their affiliation, no problem at all with changing an affiliation once the ORCID ID is created. Simply you have to change your professional email ID, simply have to change your experience, and over there you change your affiliations and it will be automatically connected. Your previous research contribution will be automatically be updated and automatically be going or reflected in your ORCID ID. So here I told you earlier that there is an example which I quoted, that almost there are few surnames like Wang, like Li, like Zhang. These cover almost 20% of the Chinese population. So this is a figure which we have got from the internet. So nearly hundreds of surnames are available, and over 85% of China's 1.3 billion citizens. So, of course, it is very difficult to recognize these surnames, these commonly used surnames in Chinese population. So, very difficult to identify them. So, for which ORCID ID is a must. So, this is just an example. We can quote same examples in with your community, with your country. Some names are common, some initials are of course common, just as I told you. Initials with S are very common, and surnames like these type of surnames which are used in Chinese researchers, which are used by Chinese researchers, they are also mostly common. So they belong to a certain given author, and of course your publication should be authenticated and distinguished from other publications or other authors who share the same name as well as the surname as well. So there is a chance that these can be distinguished without the with the use of the ORCID ID. And of course, how the researchers and institutes they get benefit out of these ORCID IDs. First of all, I'll talk about researchers, and then we'll go into the institution benefits. So first of all, it will of course improve my recognition and visibility of my research work. Okay, and you can spend more time in doing research and less time in managing it, because it's very difficult for me also to manage my research every 6 months or every 3 months. So if it automatically reflects in my ORCID ID, and you can share simply the link with the person who requires your CV or who requires your ORCID profile, of course they can see and manage. They can very easily get the reflections, and they can easily control and manage easily shareable record of their own research activities and also their affiliations free of cost, of course. So it's an underlined form of your CV without preparing updating your CV every time you do it for different applying for different jobs or applying for different grants in different external agencies. You can at least share the link of your ORCID. That is the best way of representing your research. How will the institute get benefited? They will save time, they will reduce errors with some automated information sharing, and also some cross system interoperability. Suppose, say for example, the institute is wants to apply for any ranking system, say for example the global rankings like QS ranking system. So of course they need to for each of the researchers they need to search out their research profile and put it in the form of their records, right? So the best way is to go through their respective ORCID profiles of the different researchers working in their organization. It is very easier for them also to manage and write it according to the organization's name. Say for example, some researcher have migrated to their place, their organization, and joined in the institute so and so. So the previous affiliations or the publications related to the previous affiliation can also be checked out, and that can be removed from the system. So this is the way to create or maintain a link with the researchers present, past, as well as future. So this is how the institutes get benefited when they are applying for any ranks, when they are applying for any recognition outside, and when they want to share the research profile of the different researchers. Of course, it's through ORCID ID they will be getting benefited. They get to know that which research contribution were from their present affiliation, or which research contributions were reflected through their previous. So everything can be seen from their ORCID profile as well. Now, just as I told you, improved discoverability, it provides your identifier or digital identifier will be a 16-digit unique identifier for each and every author, and there will be a link such as publications, data sets, patents that you publish linked to your ORCID profile. This will enhance the author's visibility, author's research contribution to be more visible, more discoverable by other researchers, by other institutions, as well as by the publishers as well, or some external funding agencies as well. So it will be a greater visibility, greater discoverability on the part of the researchers, on the part of the researchers that can be visible to other researchers, to other institutions. I want to follow certain researchers and I want to see their ORCID profile. I can easily access them, and I can if I get the link of their ORCID identifier, I can easily access their research work as well. So it is a very good way of reflecting through ORCID ID rather than going for ResearchGate profile, or rather than going through Google Scholar profile as well. So it is a good way to link every research article of yours with the ORCID ID that you have created. Of course, simplified data management. your data managing or controlling your data is very easy. Like a lazy person like me can easily update his or her CV quickly, and easily it can be imported, easily it can be synced. Your publication records can be easily being synced from different resources like cross reference, PubMed, Scopus, many more, to their ORCID profile. So this will save a very good amount of time or a considerable amount of time and also an effort to manually update your publication list and ensure the accuracy and completeness of your research outputs as well. So it is a very good way of managing your research contribution, managing and controlling your research contribution. Apart from that, increased trust and transparency of data. There is no chance of your data to be mistaken or any identity to be mistaken or misattributed, because it's a digital identifier, of course. So there is a transparency in the data, there is an integrity of the research ecosystem, and building a trust among the authors, amongst the institutions, amongst the publishers as well. So maintaining trust and transparency with respect to the different publications, with respect to the different author affiliations, with respect to the different research organizations, academic institutions, as well as it is a benefit for the publishers to easily identify the research contribution of the author as well. Enhanced collaboration opportunities. Say, for example, I am looking for any collaborative project for a joint research project. I want some external funding, I need some career advancement. You can add your co-authors, their ORCID profiles, so that it adds value, and you can easily connect and collaborate with other researchers in different parts of the world, and by adding their ORCID profile as well. So it is a very good practice of taking a note of the ORCID profiles with which you are collaborating in your research projects, in your joint funding projects, and also for career advancements as well. Grant applications and reporting. Of course, you can connect your ORCID integration with different funding agencies, and this will also simplify your grant application and the reporting process. Of course, there should be some quality of your research proposal as well, but at the same time, the funding agencies can easily look at your profile. They can see the grants already given to you. They can see your accuracy of data and how updated you are to your research output or activities, and this will help you to secure your funding opportunities as well. So this is also an important way by virtue of which you can apply for any external funded projects for different grants, and also for reporting your research proposal if you are linking it with your ORCID ID as well. Of course, recognition and attribution. If authors can get proper credit to their research contribution, to their research output, and by accurately attributing their work, thereby correctly mentioning their work and linking it with their unique ORCID identifier. So this increases your accuracy of citation metrics, your H index, your bibliometric measures. Everything are crucial for your career advancement and also for recognition in the academia. So these sort of benefits are definitely a part and parcel of your ORCID ID and the benefit that you can take out of it. And of course, last but not the least, these are some of the top 10 benefits that the researchers can have. They can reliably and easily connect with the contributions and their affiliations. There is no chance of getting a mistaken identity. So of course, and it is very important that you save your time. Once you enter once, reuse often, and manage your data, manage your publication data, manage your CV, and all those stuffs. Improves your recognition for you and your research output. So it is a better visibility for your research outputs as well. Your own and control of your record. So this is also most important. And of course, what information it is being connected and how is it shared, and how we can maintain the control of your records as well. So of course, it will enable you to comply with organizations that require ORCID IDs. So of course, some manuscript submission requires compulsorily the use of ORCID ID as well, in order to identify the authors thoroughly. And many systems are already connected with ORCID, like Crossref, PubMed, and all those stuffs are already connected with ORCID. Scopus database is already, Web of Science database is already connected to ORCID ID. So it is very easy to access and very easy to register and free of cost. Of course, there is no chance of your data to be mistakenly taken unless and until you are wrongly specifying the digital identifier. Of course, it will be simply the link should be copy pasted. It will enable you to be a part of making, in case you are using a good platform of internet as well. So these are basically some of the top 10 benefits that you as a researcher can have with the regular use of the ORCID ID. So everyone, we are using ORCID ID, and of course, if you enter once, and you can reuse often. So spend more time on your research and less time in managing your research contribution, your publication data, or updating your CVs and all those stuff. So thank you so much to IGP for giving us the opportunity to speak on a particular important topic which we call as ORCID and its benefit to the authors. I think I can stop here, and I'll also expect some questions from the different persons, different researchers around the world.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful presentation. I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which was our only intention. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Now, so it's time for our question answer session, which is one more valuable part of our regular webinars. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we'll be back in our session part 2, which is our question answer part.
Okay, fine.
Dear IGP knowledge seeker, if you have any question, you can ask in our comment box. Our speaker will answer this question. After a short video, we'll be back. So please stay with us and ask your question. Once again, welcome back everyone. It's time for our question answer session. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please, if you have any question, you can ask in our comment box. Our speaker will answer those questions. After question answer, we'll have our share the certification process step by step. Then we have our most engaging part, which is our webinar quiz competition. Please welcome back our speaker. Once again, welcome back, sir.
Yes, I'll be happy to answer the questions.
Okay, sir. Our first question from Asia, sir. Dr. Shobi Ganguly, kindly, who is liable for registration, must one be a researcher to register with ORCID? Thanks.
Anyone can register, dear. Any person can register with either using their professional email ID or affiliating email ID or your any other professional email ID. Anybody is free to register, and they have to authorize Stanford University for maintaining the website and all those informations. And then you can put the digital identifier, the 16-digit identifier, to the publishing house when your manuscript, when you are submitting your manuscript. So it will be automatically reflecting in your publication, and once you get the e-copy of your publication, it can be linked with. And of course, when the Wave of Science data, the Scopus data, the PubMed data, cross-reference data can all be linked with your digital object identifier. So anybody can register, not an issue, absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir. The next question from Latu Panirita channel. I have my ORCID ID already. The question: what type of journal can be identified by ORCID? Should it be
Preferably, we'll have the ORCID IDs being linked to journals like which are indexed by SCI, SCIE, or Scopus, or even the Wave of Science journals as well. And it is maintained by, if the journal is maintained by cross reference, if they are associated with PubMed as well. So these type of journal publications you can associate with your ORCID ID.
Okay, thank
It
you,
is
sir.
automatic. It is not that you have to link it every time. It is automatic. You just need to refresh it. It will be automatic be updated if they are linked with such databases.
Okay, thank you, sir. The IGP knowledge seeker, we are waiting for your question. If you have any question, you can ask in our comment box. Sir, I think there's no more question.
Okay, fine.
Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful presentation. We have learned a lot from you with new topics. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable sir, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new date. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
sure.
And take care.
Absolutely. It will be my pleasure to serve IGP as well.
Thank you. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, today we cannot share our today our some technical problem, we cannot share our certificate code. We provide our certificate code in a short time. Thank you. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, today our some technical problem, we cannot share our certificate code. We provide our certificate code in a short time. Thank you.
हम सारे एक्टर्स को 2-2 महीने के लिए बुलाया था इसी
Dear IGP knowledge seeker, now it's time for our most engaging part, which is our quiz part. To join our quiz session, you have to follow my instruction carefully. First, you have to go www.slido.com, then find today's quiz and scan this QR code for direct joining. And quiz code is Global IGP. Quiz code is Global IGP. After a short video, we'll be back, so please stay with us and enjoy our quiz session. Once again, welcome back everyone. It's time for our quiz session. If you want to join our quiz session, please follow my instruction carefully. First, you have to go www.sito.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is global IGP. It is easy to join our quiz part, so mention your friends to join our quiz session. We'll pick your name on Slido, so join with your full name, which will directly printed on your certificate. And top 10 will be awarded with quiz completion certificate. So please everyone join in our session, quiz session. To join our quiz session, you have to follow my instruction carefully. First, you have to enter the code, and the code is global IGP. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, our code is global IGP. If you want to join our quiz session, please follow my instruction carefully. First, you have to go www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is, and find today's quiz or scan this QR code for, and the code is global IGP. Uh, we have already with us engineer Arnold Graciano. Then we have Giama G. Banladena. Then we have Evelyn Waperi in, and we have Charlie, and then we have Muhammad Aksan, Thomas Ildenos, Muhammad Nasiruddin, Lion Ziklosas, Christopher Abines, Ileonda Cortis, Leah Paconola, Elex Java, Avar Alviraj. Already 22 people joined us. 23 people join us. We are still waiting for your joining, so please everyone join quickly in our session. To join our quiz session, you have to follow my instruction carefully. First, you have to go www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is global IGP. And the code is global IGP. Within 2 minutes, we will start. So please everyone join as soon as possible. Already we have 25 people. Please everyone join our quiz session. To join our quiz session, you have to go www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is global IGP. We'll pick your name from Slido, so join with your full name, which will directly printed on your certificate. Top 10 will be awarded with quiz completion certificate. If you want to join our quiz session, please follow my instruction carefully. First, you have to go www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is global IGP. Now we are going to start our quiz session. Let's start. Our first question is for most authors, secondary research benefits include which of these pairs? First option is answer the author specific question and get result tailored to needs. And second option is easy to find and inexpensive to use. And the correct answer is option 2, easy to find and expensive to use. And then next question is, what was one of the biggest benefits for the authors getting their scripture? Option 1, they are able to get feedback from the people listening. Second option, they could piece the chords they're writing. And the correct answer is option 1. 91% people are right. Then we're going to see our next question. And the question is, which of the following statements are true with regards to author IDs, ORCID, Scopus ID, researcher IDs? Option 1, helps with author name disambiguation. Second option, make it more difficult to find your publication. And the correct answer is option 1. Then we are going to see our next question. And the question is, which of the following statements are true with regards to author IDs? Option 1, waste time when applying for grants and awards. Second option is connect you to your published work throughout your entire career. And And the correct answer is option 2, and 95% means almost all the people are right. The next question is, what is the name of Australian orchid? Is it option peach, lily, second option kangaroo paw? And the correct answer is option 2, kangaroo paw, and 52% people are right. Okay, next question. What does ORCID stand for? Overall Research Collection Identification. Second option is Open Researcher and Contributor Identification. And the correct answer is option 2, Open Researcher and Contributor Identification, and 82% people are right. Then we're going to see next question. What is that ORCID ID? Option 1, special membership for a PhD club. Second option is to ensure authors who change names or share the same name are given credit. Is it option 1 or option 2? And we can see the correct answer is option 2. And then we are going to see our next question, and the question is, what is the purpose of an ORCID ID? It allows publication to be attributed to you. Second option is verifies your institution. And the correct answer is option 1, allows publication to be attributed to you, and 95% people are right. And then now we're going to see our next question, and the question is, ORCID significa open researcher and contributor ID, is it true or false? ORCID significa open researcher and contributor ID, is it true or false? And the correct answer is true, and 95% people are right. Then we're going to see our last and final question. And the question is, why is using ORCID ID the best way to search for each index? Is it option 1, ORCID search directly brings up specific profile? Second option is ORCID search directly brings up a specific researcher ID. And the option 1 is correct answer, and only 18% people are right. Congratulations, Alex Java. He's our top one. In second position, we have Anelita Q. Villanueva. In third position, we have Jinadia G. Digozaman. In fourth position, we have Carmela Vijayan. In fifth position, we have Evelyn Weber. Congratulations, our top 10 quiz competition winner. We have all of your name which we entered during joining. We'll pick your name Slido and prepare certificate, and we'll post them on our Facebook official page. Our Facebook official page and group name is Institute of Global Professional. We are IGP knowledge seeker. Congratulations again. Slido will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After a few minutes later, we'll give you your certificate. If you want, on your official Slide will take a few minutes for finalizing the result, and after that we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our Facebook official page. Our Facebook official page and group name is Institution of Global Professional. At the end moment of our session, we can say properly feed your skill, never stop learning, cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in our every program. If you want to live a happy life, tie to goal, not to people or things. Understand. Before I say or hit the end like button, again wants to thank all IGP knowledge seeker for your active participation as always. See you the next session. Till then, stay happy and blessed.